Hang on for a second. Let me hit this one first. I'm going to paste it. You're entering a broadcast studio?
Correct.
I got no earbuds, though.
That's fine. It doesn't matter.
So allow my camera.
Just yell.
You want me to allow it?
Sure, yeah. Okay, I'm live on Facebook. So, yeah, here we go.
Can you see me?
I cannot see you yet.
Enter without, no, display name. I guess I got to put my name in.
Yeah, you got to put your name down. I had to do that, and then it let me do that.
Gosh, and what's the next step? I just did it. Enter without. Jesus, I mean, what?
You got to get some duct tape, and then you got to stretch out the duct tape.
I just displayed my name, and nothing is happening.
Really? Okay.
Oh, wait. Start cam.
It's probably going to ask for permission for your microphone and for your camera, I would say. Are you doing this from a cell phone?
Yeah, from my iPhone.
Okay.
Front camera.
Yeah, we're both
front
on that.
camera.
Should be good.
No. What does back camera mean? Does that mean like coming my way?
Maybe. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. Don't put me live. Don't do anything yet because I'm.
Okay. Yeah. I don't see you in there yet.
No.
Invited guest.
You're damn stupid. I'll do the front camera. How about that? Now what's next? If you're having issues, try restarting your device. Oh, good God. I'm going to try to log in again. Yeah, let me
it's the best interview you've ever had to deal with, right?
Yeah. This is the
There you go. Welcome to How to Learn How to Use Facebook.
I'm going to try this again. Copy the page link. I'm copied the link. Okay.
Okay, you
now
got
I'm
it?
going to go to Safari, right?
I had issues with Safari. I was using Google Chrome. Safari told me that it wasn't allowing camera access, I believe. So that might be it. But I don't know. It's a different thing. StreamYard is a different site. And it automatically streams to Facebook. So you should be able to, as long as it gives you the ability to accept as an invite as a guest for this particular stream, I think you're okay.
I'm going to try Safari one more time. Yeah, I tried Google. That game put me down somewhere else. Here we go.
But this is entertaining to learn.
It sure is. So it says again, you're entering a broadcast studio. StreamYard.com. Would you like to access the microphone and camera? We say allow, right? Yes. Okay. And now it says, I gotta put my glasses on. Your browser can't access your devices. Close any other apps that might be using your camera mic, then refresh the page. If that doesn't work, try restarting your device. Is it maybe because you and me are on the phone?
I didn't think about that, but that's possible. Yeah.
Let's hang up, and I'm just going to try it, okay, bud?
Okay, that'll work. That works.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. We're doing the originals of Charlton's. We're going to be talking to Lars Nagel. He's going to be starting us off tomorrow. We do the originals of Charlton's every Thursday night. I play my father, Jim Von Stein's songs. Very lucky to play his music. But beyond that, I've also been able to host music, other musicians and performers in Atlanta and Chattanooga and all throughout the Southeast. And it's a real honor to do so. And so I decided to want to interview people, like kind of have them talk about, what they do. And now we're figuring out how Facebook works together. So there you go. Lars is our first guest. And I'm not quite sure how it all works. This is the first time that I've done this. So we've only got up to go. So that's good. At least there's that. Hope everybody, hey, there we go. Add to the stream.
There's no way. Look at that.
There you go. You got it. And I think that we can see this on Facebook. So let me share this to the group.
Hey, Jason, can you do me? I'm going to try to text Heidi here just to let her know, just to check it. If you lose me, just text me. I'm going to see if I can get on the text here, okay?
Okay. It's not a problem.
Can you still hear me right now?
I can hear you. I can't see you, but I can hear you. But it's okay because it's more mysterious this way.
It's very mysterious. And I also got to watch my language. I'm texting her. We should be on.
Maybe. We're not going to get that contract with ABC if we don't watch our language, right?
We won't.
Thank you for taking your time to do all this. I appreciate it.
Hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there's two of you on Facebook now, too. We figured it out. Look at that.
Are we actually on?
Yeah, we're live right now. I got you shared to Von Stein. I got you shared to, well, it's not sharing on there. But I got you shared. Yeah, we're on Facebook right now. We're doing Facebook Live. Yeah. And I'm alone. Okay, just join again, Lars, when you can. And yeah, we'll talk. And in the meantime, I can see if I can figure out how to share this to the Von Stein page. I don't know how to do this. Let's see, Charlton's and Narragansett here presents Lars Nagel. Yeah, cool. Gotta make sure I spell that right. Let's not mess that up. Man, I grew up in Tennessee. I should be able to spell Narragansett. I know double E's and double S's and whatnot. So there you go. You have to set that up ahead of time, says my cousin Adam. So that means he can hear me, I guess. But I can't hear anybody, so I don't know. Oh, that's because I got it muted. Okay. Hey, there we go. All right, cool. Add to the stream. There we go.
Unbelievable. I'm
going to give us a round of applause. That's what I'm going to do.
Did we get an audience? Yeah, I lost my
car. You're good. You got viewers. You got everything you need. You got flowers. It's great. So.
Hello, sorry.
No problem. So we got Lars Nagel. This is Lars going to be performing with us for the originals at Charlton's tomorrow night, live streaming. And yeah, we're doing an interview. So thank you, Lars, for being guest number one.
Absolutely, my man. I'm just adjusting the volume here while I'm at.
You're on the same show as Tom Selleck. So that's we brought out the very best.
As Magnum?
For you. That's Magnum. There you go.
Oh, yeah, man. Magnum PI and all that gang. You know, I've been watching a lot of Rockford Files lately.
Oh, yeah?
Speaking of Magnum, yeah, I love when Tom Selleck guest starred on. I think James Garner had him on a couple of those Rockford Files episodes, maybe even 3. He was fantastic.
I didn't know that. That's pretty awesome. Wow. I do know that he was originally Indiana Jones.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he was Indiana Jones. Couldn't get out of his contract. I don't think they would let him out of the contract for Magnum PI. If I'm not mistaken. And that's why they ended up going with Harrison Ford. Harrison Ford's like the luckiest actor in Hollywood history, I would say.
Oh, absolutely. And I didn't realize either that the guy from The Greatest American Hero, William Catt, he auditioned for the part of Luke Skywalker.
Really?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Wow.
That could have been a different career move, right?
That would be totally totally different. So what got you into music? What was the first thing that you heard that inspired you? How old were you?
Very, very young, man. Maybe 5 or. I think the first time I ever heard, the first time music, even the very first time it registered for me. And by the way, when I'm talking to the mic, is that okay? It's not.
Yeah, you sound great.
Blowing you away, right?
No, how do I sound? Does this sound okay?
No, you sound great.
Me?
You sound super clean. Are we on? Are we live on that?
We're live.
Because I can't see.
Yeah, we're live through the StreamYard app. We're live on the Facebook page, and we are live in the Charlton's group page, I believe.
Oh.
Yeah, you got the world watching, potentially. So also I'd like to thank Narragansett. We got a sponsor, Narragansett Beer. They're actually in the movie Jaws, and now they're sponsoring us. So there you go. It just keeps getting better.
It's like Johnny Carson.
I'm trying. I'm actually, next time I go to Tennessee, my father has a genuine Johnny Carson suit. So I'm going to squeeze into that.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He got a Johnny Carson back in the 70s. That was his suit. And he still has it.
Oh, man, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's plaid. This should be good. I'm going to try. I brought my pencil. I'm listening to Van Halen. You know,
And you're
I'm
not,
doing what I'm supposed to
you're a
do.
little tardy. Yeah, that's right. You know,
I'm trying.
Watching those old YouTube clips of Carson, it's just shocking to see how great he was.
He's the best, I think. Like no doubt about it. Just he seemed like real calm and easy. I think a good host is someone that makes your guest feel comfortable, because then you get the best of everything. And then, you know, I mean, he had a lot of return people. I just watched a thing on the Comedy Store, and it was on Showtime. We were talking about a documentary, and like that was really, they picked a lot of their performers from the Comedy Store. And he had, you know, like Howie Mandel was on there like 20 times or something like that. It's like pretty cool.
Yeah.
They just kept bringing people on and on kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. No, that's a, you know, I got to start watching some of those too. I just thought it was really, it's cool when you watch Johnny, and, you know, a lot of times the punchline wasn't necessarily something that he said. It was just sort of, it was a look that he gave the audience.
Oh yeah.
And he always gave the guests the opportunity to, you know, as you said, feel very comfortable, but speak, you know, and he was just very, he just gave her a lot of room. You know, he didn't, you know, some of the folks today, I think Letterman, when he wanted to be, he was outstanding.
Yeah.
But when he was a little irritated or bored, and he sort of just whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But I think, Carson was, you know, just especially watching him with Burt Reynolds, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Some of the episodes, but to answer your question now in a very roundabout way, I think I was 5-6 years old. You know, Beatles, Kiss, Rod Stewart, but also singer-songwriter stuff like Jackson Browne. I've loved him forever, and groups like America.
Yeah. I've noticed you've been doing. I guess you were challenged to do. You could have done 10 albums, but you've done 1,000 albums. But I've seen a lot of Jackson Browne on there lately, which is great. I love Jackson. I love everybody you're talking about. For Kiss, did you dress up? Did you ever go see Kiss and do the whole Kiss Warrior thing and all that kind of?
No, I never did. Well, I saw them a few times in the '90s, but the time I will really count would be the reunion show in '96 that we saw them at.
Okay.
It was either '96 or '97 when they came back with, you know, with a full proper lineup, you know.
Okay.
With Peter and Ace.
Oh, okay. So you saw the full.
Yeah. They had a run there when they were just the real deal, and I had previously seen them a couple of times in the early '90s. Now I can't remember who was in the band at the moment, but in '96 was really the one I really cared to remember. That was outstanding. That was just. Because I never got to see him in the '70s as a kid. I wish I would have.
Really? Okay. What was your first concert?
Huh?
What was your first concert you saw?
Oh man, maybe the Pretenders, or the Bodines, or somebody like that. It was probably, and again, that was after the two guys. Pete, who were the names? Pete Ferndon, the bass player, had died, and the great guitar players, James Honeyman Scott. Maybe somebody will correct me if I got that name right. Jimmy Scott, maybe, I don't know. So she had lost half of her band. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Was there like a wreck or something like that?
No, there were two drug casualties. It was real sort of, you know, it was pretty ridiculous in a way, you know.
Yeah.
Two ODs, those two guys, you know, and they were what a band. But then she got together again, and she had this guy Robbie. I think she had, when I saw she had Robbie McIntosh, maybe. He ended up playing with Paul McCartney in the late '80s when he put his, I guess, band, you know, late '80s band together.
Wow, is this out in California? You saw them? You grew up in. Okay.
It was in San Francisco. Yeah.
Okay.
So
when you were out there, did it still have that feel of like the Grateful Dead and like all the different shows that they were doing in the late '70s? Seems like there was a lot of great music at that time that came from there. That was its own.
Well, I mean, when we visited there in the '70s, between '76 and '80, or between '76 and maybe '86, I didn't really, me personally, I just didn't know what to look for. I could only go by the radio. You know, I had no older brother that was into cool things. You know, I had to always, or different types of music. So I had friends. I grew up in Stockholm, Sweden, so I had friends over there that older friends, who they'd turn me on to Bowie or Neil Young, Live Rust, and You know, I was pretty much all over the map. I was never a specific, I listened to punk rock only, or I listened to rock and roll, or I listened to, you know, pop or whatever it was. I was kind of all over the map. I really was from day one, you know. But I would say Beatles and Elvis in this order. Elvis and Beatles that were the first two that, you know. Before that in Sweden, it was ABBA, because if you don't listen to ABBA, they'll raise your taxes even more.
They got their own museum, so yeah, it's definitely
And you know what? Hey, I mean, you know, what a band, right? So
yeah.
But yeah, man, I think the first time though I ever took in that I ever recognized music as being this thing that you take in and listen to, I think it was a song called "White Shade of Pale" with Procol Harum.
Yeah.
But we still were in our old house, and maybe that was in 1971 or 2 or something like that, when I recognized that there's this piece that came out of the radio that you're supposed to listen to. I was probably 3 years old or something, you know?
Yeah.
So that was the first time it really registered that there's something there, you know? And then from there on, by the mid 70s, you know, it was Beatles, again, ABBA, Beatles, and all this sort of usual type people, but also the songwriter folks.
Do you remember the first song you learned to play?
No, I don't actually. It probably was an Elvis song, but
okay.
I listened, and this is sort of strange too, because I listened to a lot of country and Western, a lot of country music in 76, 78, in that, maybe even 75, 76. I was, you know, again, 8, 7 years old or something. And younger probably, because my dad would buy these country Western compilations.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and you know, when you're that young, you like what you like. You don't base it upon anything else.
Right.
So when I got these country records, these compilations, and the funny thing is, I would gravitate towards the lesser known artists. Not that they weren't stars, but I didn't go to George Jones, Johnny Cash, or Hank Will, the basic food groups, or Merle Haggard, or whoever. So I went to, like, Charlie Louvin, Farron Young, Farley Husky, Susan Ray, LA International Airport. Who's my favorite country song? One of the favorite ones, the Apartment Number 9 by Bobby Austin.
Okay.
Right. I mean, and all those people were obviously known. They're on these greatest hits packages, but they weren't, the staples of country music in the sense that Johnny Cash and Waylon Jennings were, you know?
Right. Yeah. You think country music.
I would get in with, I would really, again, I would learn it through the compilations, and then I would start buying their records. So it was kind of odd for a 12-year-old kid in Sweden, or a 10-year-old kid in Sweden listening to Farron Young.
Yeah, I can imagine.
See the big man cry. It was sort of or maybe it was the most normal thing in the world. I don't know. But that's kind of where I went for.
Was it hard to get that music like that while you were there? Was everything like special ordered and all that?
No. Believe it or not, no. Sweden was so hip to all these different, or especially. I grew up in Stockholm, so you could get anything that you got here. Came over there very quickly. It was sort of a, people loved Springsteen there forever. Probably outside New Jersey, it was in Stockholm, it was in Sweden, right? Same with people like, the New York Dolls, Johnny Thunders of the New York Dolls, which I didn't, in 1979 or 80, I didn't know who the New York Dolls were, but I knew Johnny Thunders because he kept getting busted in Sweden, right?
Really?
Yeah, they just couldn't stop, the police couldn't stop hassling this. He's got mini Keith Richards, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He's sort of, so you couldn't escape Johnny Thunders if you tried to, because he would be on the cover of, the evening magazines and so forth. And, so I kind of got into some of those artists on the backside because of, the Swedish writers. They would just write about him constantly. And eventually and I think the first time I saw Johnny Thunders was in 1981 on a Swedish television show called the Monday Night Show, sort of the equivalent of the SNL here in America.
Okay.
And he, so you were exposed. It could have been Johnny Thunders, or it could have been Doug Song. The Texas Tornadoes,
Okay.
right? They had audiences, and those guys and those bands would tour a lot in Sweden, in the Scandinavian countries, because they were probably more popular there than they were in most of America.
That's
you know what I
interesting.
mean? Let's say they had their audiences. There's a kitty cat in the back there. There's Lemmy, by the
Yeah.
way.
Lemmy,
Say
really?
hello to Lemmy, anybody? What's up?
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, Lemmy.
But you had bands like let's say like Johnny Thunders or New York Dolls type people that in America were probably they had it locked down in New York, they had it in Los Angeles, they had it in certain of the bigger cities, right? But they weren't super household names all across the country. But Sweden, of course, being a much smaller country, they just embraced all those types of, you name them, could be anybody. Graham Parker,
Really?
Costello was obviously he had a lot wider audience, but a lot of those artists, the sort of the minor artists in America, they were quite known in Sweden. People, they loved them, So that's
Did you hear that on the radio, like in Sweden? You go to the dial and you hear.
No, no. Unfortunately, no. It's the usual. I mean, maybe a song here or there.
Okay.
But you were just exposed to it in terms of reading in the in the daily papers or on television shows.
Okay.
Like I said, that Monday night show in Stockholm had had the Ramones on there, had Johnny Thunders and the Heartbreakers on there, had you name them, anybody, right? So it was a great outlet for all these people to come through, and the one, of course, people like David Bowie and the Springsteens and of the world, they got radio play, Elton John's or whoever's, like
right.
It generally has been. But if you wanted somebody who was just a little bit outside of that area, you would you'd read about them and you go to record stores.
Okay. Did you play music while you were there in Sweden?
No,
out?
no.
Okay.
Well, I fooled around with the guitar, but nothing. I was never in a band when I was 16 or 17. The first band I started was here when I was 23, maybe.
Here in Atlanta?
Yeah, Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
what was that band?
Pardon me?
What was that band called?
It was a cowpunk band. We were called the Ditch Diggers.
Ditch Diggers, okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys play like Masquerade and places like that?
Everywhere, yeah. We would play in Atlanta, and then we'd also play on the road. So we'd make records, and we'd go out of town, and we'd play shows, in Atlanta, just on that sort of treadmill,
I gotcha.
So we were, like I said, we were in that cowpunk vein, which was always sort of difficult because you sort of had to explain to people what it was.
Yeah, what is that?
It's country rock. It's country rock, basically. It's sped up, it's just kind of faster country rock and rowdy or raunchier. And again, anytime you have to explain what you're doing musically, you're already losing, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of just
with anything, a joke, anything like that, a movie. Yeah.
But cowpunk was, again, it was kind of it was the bands that we liked in that genre were people like Jason and the Scorchers.
Okay.
That were a cowpunk band. Again, you could call them country rock. You could probably call them rock and roll too, but they had a strong country flavor to them.
Okay.
And it was the type of music that related a lot more to the past, country music of the 40s, 50s, 60s. That then sort of was met by, I don't know, the Sex Pistols, the Ramones, like a punk rock meets country, or country meets punk rock, and it had a lot of energy in that type of music.
When you played with this band, if you played a show with other bands, were you playing with like country music artists or punk artists?
Both.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there was a while there when that swing craze was so big after Swingers. It was the Swingers, I guess, that came out. That we got kind of locked into that rockabilly. Rockabilly is in there as well. Mm-hmm. You got rockabilly, country rock, cowpunk, and all those types of people. So we kind of were locked in there for a while. But then we also would play festivals or club shows, and I mean, we played with some amazing people. We played with this '50s rockabilly guy called Ronnie Dawson once, and as far as the festival goes, you name it, man. I mean, Emmylou Harris, like I think you talked about that on Facebook, or Lil Richard. But again, those were festival bills. It wasn't like, hey, we're playing with them every time. It was just But when you do those things, you tend to have a number of different bands and people. So it's kind of but in our own club, right? It kind of was in that rock and roll, country rock, rockabilly world.
Okay.
Eventually, we bridged out and we started playing more in the rock and roll scene.
Okay. Lars, you with us? You cut out.
About that?
That's okay. No problem at all. There you go. Is your phone? Is everything okay with it? Is it charged?
Yeah, I'm good now. I didn't put it to. I had it on Do Not Disturb mode when you and me were working on the other thing.
Yeah.
And then I took it back on. I put it back on because didn't want to miss your call before we set up this. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for working with me on all this stuff and the first guest. That's pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
You want to play a song for us?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. Let's hear whatever you want to play. You explain a story or not or whatever you want to do.
I'm just going to play. I'm not going to go back on my word that you don't have to explain the music.
There you go. Right.
What I'm doing here, Jason, is I'm starting with a little G riff that goes into a G chord. It's really complicated. And I'll throw in that C for the chorus. All right, so this one is going to be on my new record that's coming out sometime this spring. No, actually, I would say maybe closer to summer because we'll see how it goes with the vaccines and how quickly the world recovers, right?
Yeah, knock on wood.
But it is tracked, and we're just doing some overdubs and stuff like that.
Awesome.
So, anyways, this will be the first track on the new record called Years Gone By. Old man's getting old, seen it all, don't want to be told. Thinking about the road and what went wrong, thinking about writing a song. I'll make a fast one, I'll make him dance, I'll make him laugh, make him take a chance. I'll sing about aliens, yeah, that'd be nice. I'll sing about anything, and here's my advice. Stop your living for tomorrow and your wishes for yesterday now. They can only bring you sorrow and can help but make you pay for the years gone by. Some people want to be my best friend, some people never want to see me again. Ups and downs on that same old road, I should have been an actor, I can do as I'm told. I'm drinking whiskey and eating rice and beans, I'm getting old in this burned out scene. Seen 57 years go by, I'll see you baby in my dreams tonight. Stop your living for tomorrow and your wishes for yesterday now. They can only bring you sorrow and can help but make you pay for them years gone by. Can we ever leave those aches behind? It's so hard to see you cry. We're all living here on borrowed time. Why don't you leave a smile behind? Stop your living for tomorrow and your wishes for yesterday now, day now. They will only bring you sorrow and can help but make you pay for Oh, the years gone by, yeah now. Years gone by, oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh.
I like it.
Thank you kindly, sir. Thank you.
So that's going to be coming out like summerish, you think, on the new album?
I hope so. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
we went in when we stopped working this year, and I guess when the virus hit in March, we had all 10 songs tracked, and we're starting doing some overdubs and backup vocals and so forth. You know, this one I put another guitar on this one, and we had some percussion, and you know, so but basically then we stopped working on them up until present time. You know, so
yeah.
But yes, it'll be my third solo record. Over the years, I mean, I spent maybe 25, I don't know, about 25 years in bands, and I started making solo records in 2015. So I've got 2 out, and so this one coming out next year will be the third one. So I'm you know, it's tough when you got to stop working on it, you know, but
yeah.
But then again, I mean, there's so many horrendous things happening to people this year. You can't, you know.
We're having a conversation, talking about it. So yeah, we're lucky just to be, you know, to be able to do that. When you switched over to being a solo artist, how was that like? What was that like for you?
It was the most natural thing I've ever done.
Really? Okay.
You wouldn't think it would be, but it was.
Yeah. Is that were you playing like not enough of your original songs? Is that why you decided to do the solo thing, or?
No, I mean, you know, in the bands, like, I mean, every band I've ever been in, and there hasn't been many, but the last one was an Atlanta band called the El Caminos. And I mean, I couldn't have had more creative freedom than I did. You
really?
know?
Wow.
We all wrote together. We wrote riffs, or you know, it wasn't like a George Harrison situation to where you get 2 songs per record and I can't wait to start writing all my own. You know, I mean,
yeah.
I wrote plenty in those bands with whoever wanted to write at the time. You know, so I don't know. It was just again, I think it's weird because I was listening to a lot of that type of music or this type of music in the 70s growing up. It's just that when I got into the bands, it was always loud, you know, loud bands, right?
Right, yeah.
And you know, some of the stuff that came out of my first 2 CDs a few years back, a number of those songs were sort of halfway written even back in 97, 98, 99.
Wow, no kidding.
I just had nothing. I just didn't do anything with them. They were just on demo tapes.
Okay. Do you still have a lot of stuff from that time that we haven't heard yet?
No, they're on. I play them occasionally in some of these shows. They're on the first 2 records. They're on the Happy to Be Here, and they're on the American Honey record.
Okay.
Which I probably should. Can you hang on for 1 second? See if
yeah, sure. Take it.
Är du där, ma? Kan du hämta de där 2 CD-skivorna? And we can show. I can show those 2 records that were out. But basically, I had you know quite a few songs late 90s, and then a friend of mine in that band said, "Man, you should start record. You should record this stuff and get it out." Right?
Yeah.
I was just slow on the uptake. We started working on it in 2010 or something like that, and we did a couple of long sessions. What became eventually 2 CDs.
Okay.
You know, they weren't recorded separately. These 2 records that came out in 2015 and 16, respectively, American Honey and Happy to Be Here, it's got, you know, at least 6, 7 songs that were written back in the late 90s. Again, they weren't finished. You know, they were sort of ideas. And then my friend said, "Listen, I'm tired of telling you how much I like this stuff. So why don't we go record it?" And that means that you got to finish writing number 1, right?
Right. Yeah.
In addition to the old, in 2009 or 10, I wrote a bunch of new stuff. So it's a mixture from the late 90s to what I wrote in 2009 that are on those 2 solo albums.
Wow. That's interesting. I really love your voice and I love your music. I'm really happy that your friend, that's a really good friend to inspire you to, stick with it and get your stuff out there, because I think you're really good, Lars. I think you're really, really amazing.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Yeah, his name's Brian Stewart. He was in the Ditch Diggers. And
okay, cool.
He just kept hearing it. He's probably the first person to hear any of it.
Okay.
And he, but I think the thing is, you have to be in that mode to want to do it.
Yeah.
To me, it was just, it's just something, because I can't, you come home from a loud rehearsal, or a show, and I'm not going to plug in my guitar and in my Marshall 3 in the morning. You pick up an acoustic guitar, right? And you just, noodle about. So that's how a lot of those songs, were written. And but yeah, no, as far as going out playing, acoustic solo shows, there was I guess I started in 2015, something like that.
Okay.
There was not. It was like the most. You think that it would be, because coming from being a guitar player in a band and singing backups in very loud bands, sitting on your own, going where you can hear every clink of the string, and you got nothing to hide behind.
Yeah.
Now that took a little getting used to.
Interesting. Even with that background, it took you a while to get to do your own thing in front of. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it took, but I loved it instantly. I felt so at home doing it. It felt like I should have always been doing it.
Yeah. Well, you're very much a natural at it, for sure. Playing in front of so much that you're actually hosting. What is Kimono? What you're hosting your own shows? Can you explain what exactly that is?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Kimono My House is basically an online club that is owned by these 2 ladies in town. Well, now one of them moved, but Andy Gish, a long-standing musician in Atlanta, Georgia. She's in a band called the Yum Yum Tree, and her friend Kim Ware. And they're phenomenal musicians. They're great people. And I guess, I don't even know when they started Kimono My House, but I would say maybe February of this year.
Mm-hmm. And
they did it originally. They're just think of any other club in Atlanta. Think of the Earl or the Star Bar or the Masquerade, you name them, any of them. But it's just an online club, and it's being run as such, right? To where you can go, you call the owners up if you want to book a show, the promoters, and then you come and play like, online like this, and you can do pop-up shows. You can book 30 to 45 minutes to 1 hour shows. Mm-hmm. And my friend Tom from the band West End Motel, he texted me one night back in, I don't even know, I guess late March. He said, "Man, you should come on board and do this and come play your songs here." I didn't know what a Kimono My House was. So, but again, it's like a club, and it's on Facebook, and so I started doing that. And then at some point in June, Tom and I talked about this the other day. We can't remember the date, but we decided really by accident to start this program. It's like you have a radio station and you have different programs on it, right?
Yeah.
And I suggested to Tom, man, wouldn't it be cool to do like 3 or 4 or 5 people, do a songwriting circle, right? With this. Yeah. And then Tom was like, BLT. He kept telling me BLT. And 3 people performing, because it makes it feel like a club show, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's really that's all there's to it. And then he said, okay, then him and I will play them, and then we'll have a guest that we'll put in the middle of it. So the BLT shows are being played every Wednesday night now with various guests.
Okay.
It's been a total blast. I mean,
what time can people tune in to see that? The Wednesday night
8 p.m. folks, Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, and that's free to join the group. It's free to check out.
Absolutely. Send people to Kimono My House, which
it's on Facebook. It's a Facebook group. It's free to join, and every Wednesday night you guys it's a great show you guys put on. So
thank you.
You've been doing it for a long time.
Yeah. It's been going really good, and Kimono My House got over 7,000 members.
No kidding. Wow.
And that's I was to my point earlier when Andy Gish and Kim Ware, who started it. I think it was just meant to be for their 20 friends, 20 closest musician friends too, because we can't go out and play, and we just gonna have fun with it. And but then really, I mean, 7,000 plus people later being in the Kimono My House group, and then so the BLT show is under the Kimono My House blanket. It's and we're playing tonight. It's Wednesday, right? So we're starting.
It's Wednesday night. Yeah. So after this show, go find Kimono My House, join it, and you get to check out Lars again tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, and you get to, and we have an awesome guest that's coming back tonight. He's from Worcester, Massachusetts, and this is cool because we're getting a lot of musicians from around the country doing this.
Yeah.
We got this guy. His name is Daniel Gay, and he's a multi-instrumentalist. Great. He's a music teacher. He's a real musician.
Yeah.
And, he writes great songs, and he's a great singer performer. And we've had him on a while ago, and we're going to have him back tonight. And then it's Tom tonight, who the guy who I do the BLT stuff with from West End Motel. His name is Tom Cheshire. If West End Motel is a touring band, and they're quite known. The guitar player is in a band called Mastodon.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, that's a big time band, right? So, but the guitar player also plays for Tom in West End Motel. So it's West End Motel. You can Google them up and look at their stuff and listen to some of their stuff. So Tom will do the stuff with a guy from the band, or he will just do it on his own on the keyboards, or however he feels he wants to present it that evening.
Okay.
So usually Tom and I will play a number of these BLT shows. Sometimes we split it, like I will do, like Tom won't do one Wednesday night, and we have two new guests.
Mm-hmm.
And the next Wednesday I will, him and I flip some of the gigs, but lately we both have been on most of the bills. So, but Kimono My House Facebook, Kimono My House BLT show, and so many cool artists are on there playing.
Yeah, check it out. It's free to join. Also, Thursday night, the originals we're going to be doing. Lars is going to be starting us off not only this Thursday, but the next several Thursdays. So it's going to be pretty awesome. You can hear his original music in the Charlton's Originals group page, and that's also free to join. Lars, you want to finish out the show? You want to give us whatever song you want to jam for us?
I think I will, Mr. Jason.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you for being the first guest and trusting me with your time and everything you do.
Dude, I love it. This is a really comfortable, great interview.
Cool. Well, thanks.
You're very pro. It's like you've been sitting there for 25 years, like Johnny.
Well, there we go. I got the suit waiting for me. So
that's right. All right, man. You want me to do one?
Yeah.
Okay. This is another song. I'm trying to adjust my stool here. That's gonna be on the new upcoming. You know what? Do you mind if I promote these records for 1 second?
Well, please, by all means. That's what you're here. Yeah. By all means.
Again, in the bands that I've spent half my life in bands where we did so many records and playing. But as far as my solo work, I only have two. So we have American Honey, came out 2016. We have Happy to Be Here, came out in 2015. And you can find them. I don't know where you can't find them online. Barnes & Noble, Spotify, Amazon. CD Baby is a great independent distributor for a lot of artists. Apple Music, iTunes. If you just Google Lars Nagel and music next to it, you should get to this. And they're also in some stores as well. But cool. That would be the easiest way to do it. And you can download the albums at full, or you can download individual tracks, digital singles, whatever anybody wants to do with it. And it's all greatly appreciated. This song, however, you like that? This one is another new song that will be on the new record coming out sometime next year. And it's called The Fool's Way Home. All right. I came home broken hearted, could barely find the door. Been gone a week, I'm tired and haunted, like so many times before. Can't stop my hands from shaking, but I only got the shakes. Gotta get it right sooner than later. I'm running out of breaks. Do you even recognize my face? 'Cause baby, I don't. I'm sitting here in the same old place, just trying to be strong. Every time I make, every time I take the fool's way home. It's closing time, I just got started. That old jukebox calls my name. Tom T. Hall knows where my heart is, but to me it's all the same. I got some friends who want to see me up, and some who want me way back down. I'll think it over while I fill my cup. Let's have another round. Do you even recognize my face? 'Cause baby, I don't. I'm sitting here in the same old place, just trying to get along. Every time I make, every time I take the fool's way home. But maybe by sundown I can get this evil out of me, and maybe my chances are better than they used to be. I know I'm not crazy like so many people think I am, but maybe I'm crazy for doing this again, doing this all over again. I asked the nurse how she's been and greet her with a frown. She comes to give me my medicine, says, boy, you get around. I got my angels working overtime, and by the grace of God I stand up tall. From the gutter back to the stage and on to the final curtain call, yeah. Do you even recognize my face? 'Cause baby, I don't. I'm sitting here in the same old place, just trying to be strong. Every time I make, every time I take the fool's way home. Every time I make, you know I always do. Every time I take the fool's way home.
I love that song. I really love that song.
Thanks.
I really love the Tom T. Hall reference. My father,
man,
he was really inspired by Tom T. Hall, and he actually wrote Tom T. Hall, and Tom T. Hall sent his book and signed it for my dad. That's like, yeah, one of the neat things my dad has of like, I guess, memorabilia.
Are you serious? That is wonderful.
Yeah. Tom T. Hall took his time out and actually wrote my dad back and sent him a book, and we still have it. It's to Jim and all that kind of. Man, I can't wait for this new album to come out. It's going to come out summer, you're saying?
Yeah, that's definitely the goal. If we can make it come out, it's just a matter of how quickly the world recovers next
Right.
year with the vaccines and all, and how we just trying to take the careful steps like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
But if we can, absolutely. And I'm gonna, I haven't been on the road in a long time. We used to do with the bands, but I'd like to do it with this. You know what I mean? I mean, just do the.
Yeah. I'm excited. Like I said, we've been able to work together numerous times now, but it's always been live streaming. But I think your music, it's tough because there's not a lot of audience right now either. But when everything settles down, your voice, you got a really good voice. Your songs are really good. It touches people, I think.
Thank you.
Stand out. It's really, really talented. Lars Nagel Music. If you Google Lars Nagel Music, you can find him on iTunes, Spotify. He's got a couple of albums out currently right now, American Honey, and what's the other one?
Happy to be here.
Happy to be here. And then the new album's going to be coming out this summer. You can watch him tonight as part of the Kimono House shows. That's going to be starting at 8 o'clock tonight. See him every Wednesday night as part of the BLT show. And then on Thursdays throughout the month of December, he's going to be joining us for the Originals at Charlton. So thank you very much for taking the time out and sharing your wonderful music and letting us get to know you a little bit more, Lars. I appreciate it.
Totally, man. Jason, it was a total pleasure. And back at you, man. I love the way you present your dad's songs. Speaking of a legend right there. And I've always, anytime I play with you guys, it's a total pleasure. And it looks so professional the way the split screen. I feel like it's some CNN or something, Jason.
I know, right? Yeah. Any idiot. All right, there you go.
But
all right, Lars. Be well. We love you. Have a great night tonight. Kimono House shows, and tomorrow night, the Originals at Charlton's. Lars, be well. Check him out. Lars Nagel Music on Google. You can find them all over the place.
Love it. Thank you.
Be well.
Cheers, man.